On this week's episode of the Hanford Insider, we'll have a preview of the 2024 Hanford Winter Wonderland with Brad Albert. Rob will have an update on the busy community calendar, and I'll be back later with your sports report. This is the Hanford Insider for Monday, November 25th.
Hey everybody, this is Rob Bentley, and welcome to the Hanford Insider, the podcast where we dive into what makes our community tick. From local stories and hidden gems to conversations with people shaping our neighborhoods, we're here to celebrate, explore, and connect. Whether you're new to Hanford or a longtime local, this is your source for everything happening in our town. From events and news to unique conversations with people who make Hanford what it is. Thanks for tuning in, and let's jump right into this week's community news. The Hanford City Council met last Tuesday to discuss several items, including a reporting plan for Measure H funds as they begin to be collected on April 1st and start receiving them by July. Applications for the Oversight Committee will be accepted in January. The 100th anniversary of the Hanford Civic Auditorium dedication will be held in 2025. A committee will be formed to plan the big party. The general business portion of the meeting included a new application process for closing off streets for such things as 5K runs, street fairs, car shows, block parties, etc. The new form should clarify the requirements more clearly for those interested. The next Hanford City Council meeting will be held on Tuesday, December 3rd. Newly elected council members Kimber Reagan and Nancy Howes will be sworn in after the results of the November election are officially certified. This is scheduled to take place on Thursday, December 5th at a special meeting. Kings County Child Support Services is holding their annual slipper sock drive for the senior citizens of Kings County. Any slipper sock that has a skid-proof bottom and is one size all can be donated through December 10th. There are several drop-off locations in town, including one of the great supporters of the Hanford Insider, Cornerstone Cafe in the Fast Plaza. Gold Standard Mortgage is sponsoring a Santa for seniors for local nursing homes and retirement communities in our area. Donations can be dropped off at 115 West 7th Street. The Hanford Fire Department is having a toy drive at Fire Station No. 1 on Grangeville Boulevard. The toy giveaway will be held December 21st at the Longfield Center. The City of Hanford has put out a call for local artists to participate in the new Downtown Mural Program and help create spaces that inspire, engage, and unite our community. For more information, visit the City of Hanford website at hanford.city. The Church of the Savior Soup Kitchen will be closed on Thanksgiving Day, but the Salvation Army would appreciate your help serving our community. Call 582-4434 to sign up for a shift. Here are some things coming up on our community calendar. Hanford Winter Wonderland is now open. Tickets to skate and visit the Santa Experience are now on sale at hanfordwinterwonderland.com. The annual Hanford Christmas Parade will be held this Friday, November 29th at 6 p.m. in downtown Hanford. Mayor Travis Payton will be the MC at the reviewing stand across from Superior Dairy. The Hanford Fox Theaters announced their holiday lineup of shows. They'll be showing Home Alone on Saturday, November 30th, It's a Wonderful Life on December 1st, A Winter Garden on December 5th, and Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone on December 7th. Check foxhanford.com for a full listing of events at this historic venue. The Kings Players will be holding auditions for their upcoming comedy, set to run in March of 2025, for A Ghost of a Chance. This is directed by Deborah Garsky. Auditions will be held on December 2nd and 3rd at 6:30 p.m. at the Temple Theater, located at 514 Visalia Street in Hanford. For more information, go to kingsplayers.org. The Hanford Branch Library is holding their 15th annual Winter Open House on Wednesday, December 4th from 4 to 6 p.m. There'll be raffles and a visit from Santa. Main Street Hanford is holding the annual Wine and Chocolate Tasting event on Friday, December 6th in the evening in downtown Hanford. We'll have Michelle Brown on the show next week to give us a preview. I'll be down there with my brass caroling group walking around, serenading people as they walk around downtown. Be sure to say hi if you see us. The Hanford Breakfast Lions Club is presenting Breakfast with Santa at the Hanford Civic Auditorium on Saturday, December 7th from 7:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Kings County's Asian Experiences at the Carnegie Museum of Kings County is open each Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 1 to 5 p.m. Part 2 showcases local Asian communities in the years following World War II. Specific displays focus on the histories, cultures, and traditions of the Japanese, Chinese, Filipino, and Hmong in the area. The museum is presenting an Asian Martial Arts Day on Saturday, December 7th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. There'll be demonstrations in Kendo, Tai Chi, Kung Fu, Karate, Eskrima, Aikido, and Jiu-Jitsu. For tickets or more information, visit carnegiemuseumofkingscounty.org. The Downtown Hanford Run Rudolph 2-mile run walk benefiting the Hanford Police Activities League will be held on Sunday, December 15th. Also on December 15th, the King's Symphony Orchestra will be presenting their annual Christmas concert at the Fox Theater beginning at 4 p.m. This year, the choirs from the local high schools will be joining in this festive event. If you have an event coming up and you'd like some help getting the word out, let's work together. Send your information to hanfordinsider@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe to my weekly newsletter to get a complete calendar of events. Well, we are so excited for the 2024 edition of the Hanford Winter Wonderland. We're here at the Hanford Civic Auditorium Park with the beautiful new ice rink, and Director of Parks and Community Services Brad Albert and Hanford City Manager Mario Cifuentez. Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks, Rob. It seems like it was a short time ago, a year ago, when we were sitting in the same place, and here we are.
Yeah, it's crazy to believe how this has all come together again. This is the fourth year of the Hanford Winter Wonderland, and Brad is gracious enough to take time out of his busy schedule in preparation. So you had your tree lighting on Saturday night, your grand opening, and we're looking forward to a great season of ice skating. Can you tell us a little bit about this year's attractions?
Absolutely, Rob. You know, the tree lighting was wonderful. It's a brand new tree, and we kind of showed that off on Saturday, and kind of really truly kicks off the holiday season. For us, this year is a bit different than the previous three. We now own this ice rink, where in years past we've rented. So first time setting up this brand new rink. We're very happy. We feel like it's an investment into the future for this event and for downtown Hanford. We will be open to the public until January 12th. So we go for 8 weeks, pretty straight through. Holidays, the only time we close if it's raining really, really heavily. But many of our food vendors are back. We have our games, and we have a really new attraction that we're really excited about.
Yeah, we're going to get into some of that. Let's get into the Santa's Village, all the little tough sheds over there. What's going to be over there?
So over at Santa's Village, we have 8 everyday vendors, we call. So they're here every day during operating hours of the skate rink, which are basically from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Monday through Friday and noon to 10 p.m. on Saturday, Sunday. We have a variety of some really great local food, drink vendors, a variety of foods. We've got Thai food, we've got Mexican food, we've got pizza, we have lots of sweets, churros, cotton candy, kettle corn. So a little bit something, whether it's a meal or a snack. I think we have something for everyone.
And on the Bastille patio, it's called the North Pole Lounge, and I understand you've had some groups already sign up to have their parties here.
Yeah, absolutely. We're so fortunate to have this space that's a great area right on the Bastille, very close to the ice rink, fire pits, heaters when it gets a little cool out. Kind of a cool place, kind of a casual, but this is available for private parties, rentals, business parties, or just a family party.
And I know we're going to mention the website several times, but can you tell us a bit about how people would get in contact with you if they were interested in renting the North Pole Lounge for maybe a family party or a company party?
Absolutely. So for us, everything starts with our website, HanfordWinterWonderland.com. virtually everything that we do here in the park is in that website. We've worked really hard to make it as complete as we can. Shortly, we will be have a live feed from on top of the Civic so people could actually go to the website and watch people skating.
That's pretty cool. And next to the North Pole Lounge, you have your carnival returns, all the games and prizes.
Yeah, C&T Concessions, they've been with us for the past 3 years. And one of the things I'm really excited, today when I got here, they've really changed out a lot of their prizes in the holiday theme now. So we have Santas and candy canes and elves and things like that. So it really ties in to the theme of Winter Wonderland, which was really, about families and the holidays.
And now, the Santa experience. I know you cannot wait to tell us about this.
Absolutely. So we are building the Santa experience. So the best way I can kind of articulate this is you enter into the magic elevator that transports you kind of interactively to the North Pole, where you land on the front door of Santa's workshop. You ring the doorbell, the door opens, and none other than Santa himself. And the cool thing is Santa will know the names of the folks walking in the door, and if they've been good boys or girls, what they may want for Christmas. So instantaneously, the magic of Santa,
that connection
that knows. So it's really, for me, it's about family sharing those memories. We've tried to make it and decorate it very traditional, very classic. He'll have milk and cookies, of course, next to him on his big green chair. And so it will be just something I think that the parents and their children can share together.
That's going to be amazing. We've seen some of the teaser videos on social media, and boy, is it going to be something special for the families who come and attend. The Civic Auditorium Park is a very special place, and we're going to talk about the 100th anniversary of the Civic Auditorium in just a minute. But before we get there, let's talk a little bit about actual nuts and bolts about the ice rink. I know you said the city purchased the ice rink, and that enables you to invest more in the project and just really provide a great experience. But how do you put this all together? I mean, you've got a team that puts it together. They've been working for weeks. How does all that work?
Yeah, great question. This event could probably be a full-time 12 months a year. That's, between, soliciting sponsorships, marketing, the operational, the logistics that it takes. And as you mentioned, we've been planning a long time. We've already received a few curveballs, but we kind of learned to roll with it a little bit. So this year, the ice rink is actually the same exact size, 60 by 100. We have a little bit of space constraints with trees and light poles. So we kept it the same. We did reduce the time of the sessions down just a little bit, which enables us to get an extra session per weekday and 2 extra sessions during the weekends. Last year, we actually sold out 34% of the time. And,
tough ticket.
Had 110,000 visits. So I think really for me, we went from a local event to a regional destination. And in my mind, in marketing, now that, you throw the net much farther out, where our primary is Kings and Tulare County, but folks from Fresno and Kern, a lot of folks came in on the train from Fresno.
So that gives us a great opportunity to welcome our city manager, Mario Cifuentez, to the program. And Mario, can you tell us a little bit about the financial impacts of a Hanford Winter Wonderland on the community?
Yeah, for us, this started out as an idea and a vision that Brad Albert had about bringing a marquee event to downtown Hanford. Quite frankly, the initial catalyst for it was not an economic venture, but one to take advantage of the unique location, the Civic Park and the historic buildings, and bring a sense of Americana to downtown Hanford. But after that first year, Brad was able to recognize somewhat of a profit in government. It's not normal for us to make a profit. So then the goal became, how do we leverage the revenue generating ability of this project to have a greater economic impact in our downtown? That's what ultimately led to council approval for us to purchase the ice rink. Over the 10-year lifespan of a rink, we can put money aside to replace it, but then it also provides us more revenue. We have plans, and we have submitted twice grant applications to make some significant improvements to the park. Council has authorized submittal of those grants, which would create a promenade through Civic Park. We have a desire to upgrade the lighting, and we believe that all of those can be funded through the revenue that we're able to generate from an event that isn't just there for revenue generation, but it brings a tremendous amount of visitors from the valley to downtown Hanford. Last season, we saw over 107,000 visitors to the event over the run of Winter Wonderland, and we hear about it all over. I was at a conference in Burbank, California, and we were talking, and outside one of the breakout sessions, one of the city managers from a Southern California city said, "Hanford, that you guys have that Winter Wonderland, don't you?" And so it's become something. I mean, to the point where when you watch the news, you see other communities are bringing them in, and Atwater has a wonderful one. But and no offense to them, but it's under a tent that they have to do. No one can recreate the atmosphere or the environment that we're able to recreate because of the location in our civic park.
So how are the visitors tracked then?
So we're contracted with a company called Placer AI. The original reason that we chose to utilize that service was the city's economic development efforts. The mayor and the vice mayor and some of our senior staff, we're members of the International Council of Shopping Centers. We attend their annual conference, but there's regional conferences that we attend. Some of the regional conferences, we have better opportunities to meet with developers that have an awareness of what we have going on in Hanford. And when we go there, we have a list of certain retail and restaurants that we would like to draw. But what we started hearing the first time we went, we didn't have this tool. And we heard, we were able to say, hey, this community really wants that. Okay, well, when we're taking a bird's eye view of, let's say, the Costco shopping center, they would say, we don't see any rooftops around there, and that's problematic for us. And similarly, on the southwest part of town, we were looking particularly because we have the vacancy there at 12th and 198, and we recognize the amount of traffic that goes through there, but we had no way of quantifying what we knew was the case for us. So fast forward, we have a regional conference in San Diego. The annual conference is coming up in Las Vegas, and we had a list that had been provided to us by our retail strategies, which is the firm that we use for retail outreach. And they were able to provide us with some of that data, but we thought to ourselves it would be so much more helpful if we had access to that same vendor. And there was nothing against that. So we were able to, for a relatively small amount of money, about $20,000, get access to this database. And then we could started looking into it and recognize that, our Walmart in terms of total traffic was number 7th in the state, that our Black Bear Diner was one of the most highest performing Black Bears in the state. And that resonates. If we're trying to get, for instance, Golden Corral, folks have talked about that. I think you recently have seen in the paper where the one opened in Fresno to just lines and lines. And obviously that's something with our beloved Sizzler closing, that would be a great alternative for us. But being able to tell them, we know people will go, or show them hard data, it tracks cell phone data for those that have their location can be tracked. And so we did that from the retail side, and then we started to realize that at the same time that Placer AI realized that you could use it for community events. We now can tell, how many folks are going to the Thursday night marketplace, where they come from, where they go to, do they shop before or after these events? And those help us as we want to add further economic development in the downtown. And so that's why that data is very, very important for us, not just on the retail side, but in terms of marketing. How do we do targeted marketing? When we look at these heat maps and we show a good number of visitors are coming from Fresno, we know that that's because of the great partnership that Brad's put together with Amtrak, and folks will come down. And we see a lot of travel from Visalia over here, but not so much to the east of Visalia. So we recognize there's a market there that folks can just drive down 198 and come there, so we can do some targeted marketing there. This year, Brian Johnson and Brad, I know, are working on some small TV spots, much like we found success in our sales tax measure, being able to target audience. We're now going to be able to transition that, utilizing this heat mapping to Winter Wonderland, and hopefully this next year to start broadening our outreach for social media, that sort of thing, and how we can reach those markets for our messaging that we haven't been able to reach previously.
Let's get back to Brad. You have a staff that is working. You said it could be a full-time staff year-round, but you have a very hard-working staff for your seasonal staff. Can you maybe introduce us to some of the people who we'll see at the rink and the people that are behind the scenes making it happen?
Yeah, as you mentioned, this is really a team effort. We have 2 ice rink managers, Nikki Tovar and Maya Gomez. One of the 2 will always be on duty during operational hours. We've got about 35 part-time staff. Some of those staff are dedicated to maintenance of the ice, operating the Zamboni. We actually have staff at the park 24 hours a day, and that serves as sharpening skates, but they're also security on the site. And that's something we did last year, and it's worked out really, really well. The other part of our operations staff are cashiers, the folks that actually distribute the ice skates. We just purchased 450 pairs of new lace-up hockey skates. So I've been told they're a little more comfortable than what we've had here. So, between the cleaning and keeping restrooms in order and keeping the lights and all of the logistics, it really takes a little army to do that. And everyone who's working, you'll see them in their red Winter Wonderland. If you ever have any questions, they're happy to answer anything you might have.
And so another event you're having on Christmas Eve, and I hear someone special is going to be making an appearance at the Hanford Civic Auditorium.
Yeah, we're really excited. We want to start a new tradition. So at Christmas Eve at 5 and 7 p.m., Santa will read the night before Christmas. And we invite the entire community to come out. Free event, milk and cookies for everybody. The children can sit around Santa while he reads the story. And we're looking to have a choir sing some Christmas carols, again, in the historic Civic Auditorium. So we just want to see a lot of families come out and just enjoy the holidays early enough to get the kids back home, because Santa won't come with them awake. So we're really excited about that.
And there's one other attraction we totally slipped my mind. Freddie the Fire Truck's going to be taking people around to look at Christmas lights. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that has exploded. We're sold out for that. And so we have a vintage old fire engine, and Albert, our driver, who's been with us for many years, takes folks out around Hanford to look at the really cool light displays that the community puts out. So it's very diverse, very eclectic, but you're in an open air fire truck in the winter, bundled up, and it just, I think it speaks Hanford. It speaks just community. And where else do you get an opportunity to do something like that?
So I know you'll be open during the parade. You'll be open during the wine and chocolate event. You have extended weekend sessions, especially when school gets out. And this rink, some people may think that the city spends a lot of money on this event and it's probably not making much money, but that's a different story, isn't it?
It is. Due to last year's success and our net revenue, that enabled us to purchase. And that's an investment into the future. Happy to say that as of today, it's all paid for. So future years, our expenses get cut in half because we don't have to rent. One of the ongoing costs will be the chiller rental. That's one thing. That's what keeps the ice rink frozen. That is an expense. But all of, we bought skates, skate racks, the light towers you see, new sound equipment, all the dasher boards in that. So with our sponsorships, with our ticket sales, with our vendor revenue splits. The business model really is kind of multiple revenue streams. Our biggest expenses, of course, are staffing, utilities, a little bit. It takes some electricity to keep the chiller unit going. But we believe it's a good business model, very unlike, I think, typical city operated. I've always looked at this kind of as a mini business and with the need to recover 100% of expenses. So it's a surplus, not a deficit to the city budget.
For sure. And Mario had mentioned that it allows you to make investments in the park in general because there's infrastructure things that need to get taken care of as well, yeah?
Oh, Civic Park is, as we know, the heart of the community. It's also an older park. So things like electrical infrastructure. Example, all our vendors have to bring their own generators because we're afraid to blow a circuit. So, we resodded the Irwin side last year with some of our net revenue. We'd love to hardscape, where we basically kill our grass, where we freeze it. It actually freezes probably 3 or 4 feet, and we have to replace that sod. So, yeah, we would like to see that net revenue reinvested into the park, and that just gives us a way to do it that, again, separate from the general fund. So it's a great model. It's a nonprofit business model of reinvestment. So we're real happy about that.
Well, this is definitely the heart of downtown Hanford. We heard the exciting news about the sale of the courthouse to an investor who's going to spend $10 million to remodel that. Hopefully we'll have some good news on the Bastille. And over the last year or so, the city has put a lot of work into the Hanford Civic Auditorium because 2025 is the 100th anniversary of the dedication of the Hanford Civic Auditorium. That building has been used for so many concerts, events, weddings, dances throughout the years. I know on my history page, a lot of people just share some really important memories about the event. There's a committee being formed to have a big celebration, and you don't have too many details, but what kind of things are you thinking about for the celebration?
A great question. Just last Tuesday, council directed staff to move forward with the preliminary planning of the Civic Centennial 100th birthday. So we'll be forming a planning committee made up of city staff and vested community organizations and individual. We invite anybody who would like to participate. As you said, not a lot of details. I've reached out to the Masons who actually placed the cornerstone time capsule to see if could we unearth it. From old newspaper articles, we actually have the content of that capsule. And would we want to replace it for the next 100 years? We're looking at, just a lot of different things. We're looking May, June as a date. The building is very heavily used, both for organizations, individuals, parties. So our dates are limited. It's already booked out. So we have 3 or 4 dates later in May and in early June that are possibilities. So our goal now is to meet with the committee, kind of put the big rocks together and go return to council with the plan. And upon their approval, we'll move forward. And it seems like a long time from now, but it's really not, because we've got to do the building justice.
Definitely. Well, let's wrap things up. It's been a great time, as usual, with you, Brad, and you have so much to share with the community. And we want to thank you for everything that your department does for improving the quality of life in Hanford, be it parks or events or activities for the kids at Longfield Center. There's definitely a lot on your plate. Let's finish up with maybe just listing the hours that the rink is open and how long we can do this.
Okay, so Winter Wonderland runs from last Saturday, the 23rd, all the way to January 12th. A little bit different hours. School got pushed back on their break and things like that. Typically, it is 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., Monday through Friday, with the weekends being noon to 10 p.m. And again, online on our website, you can look at all the different times. You can pick your day, pick your time for that day. You reserve your spot, and that will be available for you at that time. Last year, we actually sold out 34% of the time. And people would travel and not get to come on. And we don't like that. So even our complimentary tickets now, you need to go online and book your time and slot to assure that we have space for you.
I know your family is going to have a great time at the Hanford Winter Wonderland and Santa Experience through January 12th. Thanks again, Brad.
And now it's time for Hanford Insider Sports with Eric Bentley.
Football continues to see seasons come to a close, and a congratulations to Hanford United for taking down Goshen 36-24 and winning the Sequoia League Football Senior Division Championship. On to high school sports, where soccer got its season started last week with a crosstown showdown as the Hanford High girls took down Hanford West in a non-conference match 7-0. On the boys' soccer side, it was only Sierra Pacific in action as they fell to Strathmore 1-0. Things got started in the gym, too, as Hanford West Wrestling competed in the Farmersville Invitational, and thanks to quite a few outstanding individual finishes, the Huskies were able to come away with an impressive 4th-place overall finish. A great weekend for the Huskies on the mat. On the hardwood, however, the Hanford West boys basketball team suffered a defeat in their season opener, falling to Tulare Western 70-46. The Sierra Pacific boys basketball team couldn't come away with a win on the hardwood either, falling to Clovis High 91-63. Colin Dodd had a solid game for the Golden Bears, filling up the stat sheet with 18 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks, an assist, and a steal, while Nevin Pitkin pitched in with 12 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. The Sierra Pacific girls were also in action, taking on some Clovis schools, as they fell to powerhouse Clovis West 97-36 on Thursday, before bouncing back with a 70-60 victory over Clovis North on Friday. And there will be lots of girls basketball action all over town this week as the Turkey Leg Showdown takes place all afternoon on Monday and Tuesday and finishes with a full day of games on Wednesday. Games will take place at all 3 Hanford schools and will feature both JV and varsity teams from all over the Central Valley. And get ready, because after Thanksgiving, things start to ramp up again, and we'd like to cover as many local sports as possible. So if you have a score report or a story idea, make sure to email hanfordinsider@gmail.com. I'm Eric Bentley, and this has been your Hanford Insider Sports Report.
That's all the time we have for this week's show. If you enjoy the podcast and you'd like to show your support, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Hanford Insider to make a donation. If you'd like to join the Hanford Insider email list, stop by my website at hanfordinsider.com to sign up for updates. You'll also get an exclusive copy of my newsletter in your inbox each week. I also need your help getting the word out about the show by liking and sharing on social media or telling a friend. For more information about the show, you can find this podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, and YouTube at Hanford Insider. I'm also now on TikTok at Hanford Insider 1. If you have a show idea, be sure to email me at hanfordinsider@gmail.com and I'll look into it. Thanks for listening and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.